Well, welcome to another edition of Worship Karaoke. It's a beautiful day in Florida. We're here for Experience Conference 25, and I get an opportunity to talk to one of my favorite people today. But before I get into that, Worship Karaoke, man, it's about conversations, about worship and the church and leadership, and it's about music. And we're so glad you're tuning in. Make sure you follow us on YouTube at Worship Probs. Share this episode as well. And before we jump into today's conversation with an incredible guest, I want to tell you about our amazing sponsors. Worship Karaoke is brought to you by our friends at Allen and Heath. In your services, where every word and note carries profound meaning, you need sound you can trust. Allen and Heath digital mixers deliver that trust with exceptional audio quality and powerful, intuitive tools for managing everything from passionate sermons to energizing worship teams. And now, Allen and Heath's legendary Q series has been completely reimagined. With its intuitive touchscreen control, multiple recording options, and powerful processing tools, the new Q series makes achieving exceptional sound easier than ever. Discover the re-engineered Q series at your local dealer. You can also visit allen-heath.com to learn more, or visit them through the link in our bio as well. Allen and Heath, heard everywhere. Well, my guest today is one of my favorite people. And so our regular podcast, the Worship Probs podcast, we are 350 plus episodes in. And this dude came in and had an absolute mic drop moment on his episode of 191. We're going to talk about that. He's been on again since then. But I cannot wait for you to hear my conversation with Mr. Ian Simkins. We're at Experience Conference 2025, and I have the one and only Ian Simkins in the car. Dude, you are such a gift.
Oh my gosh.
To the kingdom and the creative community, man. Like, just calling us back to the foundational stuff. And I am such a fan of your content and your heart. And you've been on the podcast a couple of times, and you've always been incredibly generous. And today you got in at 1:30 a.m. There you are in a car at 9:30. So thank you.
Dude, it's an honor. That's so kind, man. I was telling you earlier, I do feel like a bit of an imposter at a creative conference. Maybe that's my Enneagram 3. Maybe that's just recovering homeschool kid. But I'm like, I don't think I have anything to offer.
Oh my gosh, you absolutely have. You absolutely have. So did your family come with you, or is it just you?
It's just me. It was going to be my family, and then there was some school stuff, and they were like, you just go ahead. So I did a quick turnaround.
Gotcha. Well, and you're speaking tonight.
Yes, sir.
So pumped that you're here. Experience Conference has, well, if they listen to the podcast, which they should, they have some idea of what they're in for. But cannot wait to hear it. So tell us a little bit about, for those who are, if you're new to them, you serve at the Bridge Church in Middle Tennessee.
That's right.
Nashville area.
That's right.
And what's your title?
My title is lead pastor of the Bridge Church.
All right.
In Spring Hill, we have 2 campuses right now, Spring Hill and Columbia. And our Columbia campus has been portable for years, and we're about to enter our new building. So
Lead pastor.
yes, sir.
Nice.
I'm as shocked as you are. Honestly, when I meet people, they're like, you're not. It can't be you.
So,
I'm like, I don't know what that says about how I carry myself.
I love that so much. And your worship ministry at the Bridge is crushing it.
Oh, man. I take zero credit for that. That is Brandon Primo, Stone Meyer, the Hollowell. Like, there's just an incredible, honestly, it feels, I don't want to over spiritualize, but like the people that God is drawing to the Bridge and the heart with which they're writing for Bridge worship right now is so special.
I love that so much. I need to come. I want to visit how close are you to like Nashville prop? Are you like in the city?
No. It depends what time you drive. If you come at 4 a.m, traffic is bearable.
Gotcha.
Any other time, it's going to be a bear. I mean, probably 50 minutes from downtown.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're thrilled to have you here. So like, and our audience is worship, creative production type people. Like, as you look at, and you're living it every day as the lead pastor, like as you look at what's happening in the local church and worship, like, are there things that have you encouraged? Are there things that maybe have you pumping the brakes just slightly? Like, we ought to maybe take a look at that.
Yeah. I appreciate the way that you frame that too, because I feel like there's all this, and I get it, but the temptation to sensationalize everything, like there's one church somewhere, and I'm like, yeah, we absolutely have to talk about that. But for every one of those churches, there's 1,000 faithfully loving their communities and their staff and their families. So I'd say a couple of things that are really encouraging. I think we're seeing a resurgence of like localized artistry, like communities writing songs for their community. And they're like, man, if anyone ever sees or hears, that's gravy. But like, this is what the Lord's doing.
I love that.
In this particular location. That's really sweet. I also see, I don't think I ever thought I would say this, but it feels like, I grew up like watching my dad go to Promise Keepers. Remember Promise Keepers?
I was there. Yeah.
And one of the seminal moments of my childhood was watching tens of thousands of men come forward in like confession and repentance. That was so, I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Yeah, man. Like, seeing men is huge, man.
I didn't plan on crying at 9:30, man. and I'm seeing some of that same type of posture where confession, repentance isn't fear-mongering and isn't like repackaged legalism. It's like people are longing for the presence and power of God, and they're recognizing that I got some chains I need to cast off. And I'm seeing a lot of that at a really genuine level right now, and that excites that a lot, man.
I love that. I love that so much, man. Promise Keepers, boy, that was
What a throwback.
What a wild. I remember in Indianapolis where I live attending and like seeing, I don't know, 60,000 men like march through the streets to get their lunches, from tables and stuff. I mean, it was a really powerful expression.
Totally.
Wow, that's great.
Even seeing, like, I remember, I don't know how you were raised or what your context was like, but watching men that I'd never seen shed a single tear, like extending arms, like kneeling, like hugging, like it was, I don't know why that stands out so much.
It was pretty powerful, man.
Pretty powerful.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Well, tell me, like, so we sort of got to know you through these black boxes on Instagram, which I look, I don't even, next to you, I am not a content creator, but I look at the stuff that you post and I'm like, where does he come up with this, man?
That could be a positive or a negative, depending on how the transcript reads.
I mean it in a positive. Yeah, exactly.
I think what is usually disappointing to people is there's not some grand strategy for them. It's literally, first off, I'm writing them in Apple Notes because I don't know how to use anything else. So people over the years have asked me, could I borrow your aesthetic? And I'm like, you're gonna have to ask Steve Jobs. I don't think I own the aesthetic. But it's honestly just me trying to work out stuff that we're working through at the bridge. It's all rooted in a locale. So either it's preparation for a sermon, or sometimes it's, you probably experienced this, something resonates in the room that you didn't anticipate would resonate.
Yeah.
And after the fact, you're like, I should double click on that. Like, I was not expecting that to be a moment or the moment. And so a lot of times it's just me trying to process, could I come up with something succinct that isn't just, I don't know, self-aggrandizing? I always come back to the word helpful. There's so many brilliant voices already. I don't feel the need to just keep adding to the noise. But if it's like, oh, this might be a helpful way of thinking through this, or this might be a helpful resource, that's usually the lens by which keeps me, by the way, from running my mouth. Because sometimes something happens, I'm like, ooh, I gotta. My wife is so wise and so helpful in this regard. She's like, yes, maybe you delete that one. Maybe that's not helpful for me.
Maybe you delete that one. I love that. I love that. Well, the very last thing you're doing is adding to the noise. I can promise you. Because I read, it's like I read this stuff, man, and it encourages, it challenges. It's just incredible. If you're not following already, you got to follow at Ian Simkins on Instagram. You're on Facebook. Are you dancing on TikTok yet? Or
I don't even I literally tried texting someone about TikTok recently, and I spelled it wrong. I was like, that's a good indication that I don't belong there. I don't even know how to spell it.
I love that so much. I love that. Well, like, so worship is huge piece of what we do. Like, in your on your faith journey, have there been songs that like, or artists that just
Yeah. Oh man, how deep a cut do you want to go? I was preparing for this question, and my mind went a couple of different
you
directions.
seem like you might be a Rich Mullins guy.
I'm
You're- that
you could
screams-
not have said anything kinder to me in this moment. 100% a Rich Mullins guy. I preached barefoot for the first 5 years
Wow.
of preaching, and a lot of that was, I was raised on Rich Mullins, Keith Green.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
A lot of those cats. But I also, like, I'm a drummer. I was a punk drummer.
All right.
So, like, when the Insiders represent Michigan came out with Scallelujah, one of
Sure. Yeah.
those versions are still in my head. But then there was like some like real interesting, like Ascend the Hill.
Oh,
I just like Coheed and Cambria, like hymns collection. I played for a couple of years in college. We started a metal worship band, and we would pick random psalms and just scream through them in the basement of our freshman apartment. That's not the question. But there are other songs, man. I was raised in this little Christian Missionary Alliance church.
Mm.
And some of these songs, when you hear them, they just like transport you right back to like a moment or an era. I remember singing "This Is the Air I Breathe" on my first missions trip, and we were driving into this community that was living literally in a trash dump. And like how powerful that was for me to be like singing "This Is the Air I Breathe," realizing that the air they're breathing is actually really, it just, that memory is so stuck in my head.
Wow.
But like, I learned a lot of how to play music with finesse
Yeah.
to worship music. I was a punk drummer,
Yeah.
and the only rules of punk music are faster and louder.
That's really well.
And that doesn't always translate to worship.
So good.
So a lot of, and I have all the love in the world for the church that raised me, and letting me kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
To a lot of those like early 90s era worship songs that was really helpful for me.
Love that. Where did you grow up?
I grew up outside Detroit.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. We were just through Detroit on our way to Sarnia, Ontario, to lead worship. So
Amazing.
yeah. You, okay. So you've been on the podcast twice. And the first time, so we're 350 episodes in.
No way.
And
Congrats.
thank you very much. I always tell Kim, it's like a war of attrition. We got to get it out. It's coming. Tuesday's coming.
That's how I feel about preaching. Well, it's Saturday. I
Got to do it. Got to do it. So the first time you were on, your answer to the big room question is something I think about every single week. And so this was episode 191. So that's been now maybe 3 years ago.
Wow.
And it was a thought about being an image bearer. Can you unpack that for us?
First off, the fact that you remember that is,
Dude,
miraculous.
People come up to me at conferences and talk to me about that.
No kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. Like, receive that, because God used, I mean, my jaw was on the floor.
Dang.
And I remember coming upstairs from my office in the basement and going, Kim, listen to this. And I told her what you said. So we kind of recap, if you would,
Yeah.
what you said.
And for what it's worth, this is another one of those statements that is not an area of strength for me. I write out of a lot of my like weakness and woundedness, to be honest. And the statement was something like, "You are an image bearer with work to do, not a work doer with an image to maintain." And the reason that was so important for me is because I felt like there was a lot of polarizing commentary on like, you're an image bearer, so don't do anything. You are just rest in that. And there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other people on the other side, like, to be a follower of Jesus is work and sweat and grind. I'm like, that's also true. The same Bible that says, "Be still and know that I am God," also says, "Take up your cross and follow me." So to the average week, wait, so is it be still or is it take up my cross? It's actually both. It's a paradox, but I think Henry Nouwen was the first that really unlocked this for me. He talks so much about remembering your belovedness, and he goes even further. He's like, it is the single greatest task, particularly for a leader, to remember their belovedness. Everything else, both healthy and dysfunction, is rooted in either the remembering or lack of remembering that you are the beloved in Christ. And I had realized in ministry how often I was working really hard, but it was for the applause of people, or to climb some ladder, or to get some clicks, or whatever. Yeah. So to begin first with, oh man, you are an image bearer before you do or accomplish anything, and God has given to you something to do. It's a both and, and for me, for whatever reason, that phrase has helped me navigate a lot of situations where I'm inclined into either one of those, extremes or those gutters.
Man, I think about it so often as I'm like in this new world of, it's, I was telling Kim, it's sort of missionary adjacent because like I got to keep the lights on and feed my family and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm constantly thinking about what am I going to do that's going to drive this, or what am I going to do that's going to drive and then I think about that quote and I'm like, time out, man. If this is what God's called you to do, let him do the lift.
Hey, I'm honored, man. That's awesome.
Well, we appreciate you so much. So like, is there right now maybe in your personal quiet, like, is there a go-to worship song? Is there something that or a hymn or something that really kind of centers you?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. Okay, this is going to sound like a pitch, but the last two bridge worship songs have been that feels so biased. That's because it's like written from within our community.
Yeah.
Like for our community, that is, those songs have been, most recent being Have My Heart. And it's a call to holiness. It's a call to, man, if it's not Jesus, I don't want it. And wow, again, that's so cliche. Literally, there's part of it that's like, burn away everything that's not you.
Yeah.
And I even like the intensity of the language of burn away. Because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes spiritual growth people like talk about it like it's just letting a dove go to the heavens. Like, okay, there you go, sin. I'm like, I don't know what your relationship is like. Mine's more like you gotta pin me to the mat and get you out sometimes. Right? I'm not proud of that. So even like the invitation, like, well, burn away anything that's not you. I don't actually want it. And sometimes it needs to be burned away. But there's other like off the beaten path songs. There's a band out of Seattle called Citizens.
Yeah.
And they have a song called "Oh God" that anytime I hear it, it'll bring tears to my eyes. It's more of a psalm of lament.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we have enough of those. That's sort of my hobby horse right now.
We really don't.
If a third of the psalms, conservatively speaking, are psalms of lament, but roughly 0% of our top 1,000 CCLI songs, I think Space for Grief, but also feels like we have a lack of, back to Rich Mullins.
Yeah.
And I'm for vertical songs. I love vertical songs. I think that there's so few community songs.
Yeah.
Like what is the Lord doing?
Yeah.
In our midst with us together, and
important part of the life of the church.
It's really important.
Yeah.
And I kind of harp on it probably too much, but like, hey, this thing is not about you and buddy Jesus. It is personal, but it's not private. And I think when we miss that and we kind of create this like, individualized Christian experience, which I'm not opposed to, that to remember like, yeah, we're brothers and sisters, even the people that stomp on your last nerve or that, he's one of you, all of that.
Wow. Where can people catch up with the Bridge Worship?
Oh yeah. You can go Instagram, Bridge Worship. I should know this. I think bridge.tv/Bridge Worship will bring you to our page.
Are they on like Spotify,
Apple Music, all that stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, if you're involved in any level, I'm in.
Oh man, that's very cool.
I
give all credit to that team. They're doing Chris Clayton from our church also. There's just so many voices Ben Shea. Like it's Ryan Lee. It's remarkable how much, not just talent.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that's clear too. They're not just like good songwriters. They're like good pastors.
Yeah.
Like the people that love people in the local church. It really is. I'm sure you've seen your fair share. You probably run the gamut of experiences, and
We do.
I won't fish any
We
further.
do. Absolutely. We do. What was it? Oh, for you, you've talked a little bit when you've been with us before about some intentional things some intentional like balance guardrails that you put in place in your life. And for all of us, ministry feels like it's 24/7, 365. I mean, there's somebody needs something, somebody needs to talk, somebody needs counseling or prayer, or they're going through something, they need their pastor to walk with them. Like, what would you say to the people listening and watching who maybe struggle with that balance piece?
I'd say I'm right there with you, man. I have a workaholism instinct that is almost always just beneath the surface. Like I have to, this will sound cliche, but I've invited people into my life. I had a mentor years ago. He said, find people who love you who aren't cowards. Because there's plenty of people that love you, but they'll never tell you the hard truth about yourself. And there's plenty of people that they'll tell you the hard truth about yourself, but if you don't know that they love you, you're gonna have a hard time receiving it. Yeah. So I'm thinking through that lens a lot. Like, hey, keep me. One of the phrases that I like to use is, help protect me from blank. Yeah. So like knowing yourself, like the invitation. Sometimes people are like, well, no one's told me they're doing anything wrong. Yeah, but you're a scary person, or you're the boss, or you're intimidating, or yeah. So I've just preempted and say, hey, I know this is a vice for me. Yeah. I know I'll be at the office too late, or I'll say yes to too many things. Help protect me from this. But I also have these like micro habits, these like mini liturgies. Like I wrote a little, it's a little pokey, but I wrote I call it my driveway liturgy. So that when I pull home, before I enter my house, I want to be present with my wife and my kids. I have a little prayer I read, and then I just power my phone off until my boys are asleep, which is not that big of a sacrifice. But I know that if I'm playing with them and my phone buzzes, I'm like, yeah, I'm out of it. Or again, if I can't give them 90 minutes at the end of the day. So I've had to like, some of the guardrails are less about, I go on a silenced retreat and I go full monastic twice a year, or I would love to do that too. But for me, Annie Dillard says, how we live our days is how we live our lives. Well, and like, I just want to win in like prioritizing the right things every day and not like have to wait till like, well, when June gets here, maybe I'll, rebalance again. So I've had to look more at like days and weeks than like months and years. And how do I guard the things that are most important? And
So important.
and just doing stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Like so many people in ministry only do ministry. And I think you just you end up with sort of a two-dimensional experience of life. You're like, yeah, go play pickleball, join a trivia group, like something, do something, challenge yourself. Yeah. Which is hard. I totally get it. If you don't feel like you have enough time in the day, to add something, that I think it actually creates a much more holistic person when you do.
Okay, we talked a little bit about Rich Mullins, and I meant to ask this then, but you got a favorite Rich Mullins song?
Oh man, it's hard. I can't not say Awesome God, I guess. I'd be remiss if I didn't.
It's Awesome God, man, right?
Oh man. I remember the first time, I think he was at Wheaton College, actually. It was the first time I'd heard him play that. It was a recording. But right before that, he made some comment where he said, I guess that's why Christians invented highlighters. So you can highlight the parts of the Bible you like and ignore the parts you don't. And I was like, what?
Oh, man.
Which again, it was, acoustic folk worship music, and I was in a punk band, and I was like, that's pretty punk rock.
Yeah.
I never heard anybody in church spaces talk like that.
Yeah. Man, he has this song, and I should know there's Hold Me Jesus, and there's a song that talks about, it sounds kind of hokey with me quoting it right here, but like, mom could make a gourmet meal out of just cornbread and beans. It's like my family teaching us. Sorry, it's got me. You know, they were always the first to arrive in church, you know, and it was just about his parents modeling for him as a kid, you know, what it means to follow Jesus. And gosh, it still gets me.
That's so good.
So wow.
That's good songwriting.
Oh gosh, it sure is. After all these years.
Yes.
Mercy. Okay, you've answered the big room question a couple times on the regular podcast. We do it on here too. So if we could get all the worship leaders and all of the volunteers and all the production leaders and all their volunteers, got them all in one big room, kind of like tonight when you're going to speak here at an experience conference, like we gave you a mic, man, what would you want to say to all of us about what we're doing in the local church?
You know, you told me you were going to ask me this. I still.
It's a big question.
I know, it's such an important one. Yeah. And it'll sound so cliche. Even how you phrase that about what all they're doing.
Yeah.
As an obsessive doer, I would say, hey, before you do or achieve anything, you are loved. Wow. It's back to now and belovedness. I think that there are some killer leaders and artists and creatives doing wonderful things, and I want them to keep doing it. I guess it kind of is back to the image bearer quote.
Yeah.
Or we want to remind them, like, hey, before you do or accomplish anything, and when it falls short or when it crumbles beneath the surface, you are still loved. This is my son. This is my daughter with whom I'm well pleased. I would love to see a resurgence of leaders leading out of that place. Not the guy that wrote this hit thing, not the woman that created this really whatever. All of that's incredible. It is how John described himself. I am the one that Jesus loved. I don't think he was being braggadocious. I don't think he was puffing his chest out. He could have said, the apostle, the author, the inner circle, the thing he chose to anchor himself in is, I'm the one that Jesus loved. And I think, yeah, if we can lead and serve and create from that posture, I think that's a game changer.
Amen. Well, man, you're a gift.
He's likewise, man.
And I am just, every time you say yes, I'm floored that you would take the time.
I always say yes.
And to, you know, we're here at Experience Conference. Ian there were some weather delays and got in at 1:30 and he jumped in the car at 9:30 a.m. to do this. And you're speaking tonight. And I know that's a big lift. And I'm just, we're cheering you on, man.
Thank you.
It's just a great heart connection. And, you know, you meet those people along your journey and you're just like, man, you're that for me. And I've always been incredibly grateful for your content. And again, just how generous you've been with your time. So thanks for taking the time.
Dude, it's my pleasure, man. Sincerely, thank you for the offer. Thank you for the invitation.
Honored to have you. So fam, another episode of Worship Karaoke. Make sure you share this up. Send it to your worship team, your church staff. They need to hear this stuff, man. Share it with your family and friends. This is great stuff. Make sure you follow Ian on the socials. We'll tag him in the description, and check out our sponsors. We couldn't do this without them, and we're incredibly grateful for them. And make sure you follow us on YouTube, where you can see the full episodes of Worship Karaoke. So until next time, deuces.
Love you guys.